If this wasn't real, it would be, you wouldn't believe it, right? So, that's what we're up against, right? So, are these men stupid? Yes. Or is it part of a larger misinformation campaign? Yes, that's the big picture, right? And I know you've asked yourselves, as I've asked myself, why is a bunch of ignorant men sorry men, we love our men. You're not the ignorant men, right? With clearly no understanding of female biology, passing legislation that interferes with medical decisions that should only be taking place between the woman, her doctor, and her significant other. And maybe these ignorant men should be required to take the Woman's Health 101 course, right? Before they start legislating on anything having to do with women's reproductive rights. So I just thought we'd take a few minutes. We're gathered here. The impetus for this meeting is the Texas Heartbeat Bill. And some of you probably know it well, and some of you might not. So I'm just going to give you a few of the highlights of what is, again, truly a horrific, horrific bill. Almost all abortions are banned. The law prohibits abortions once medical professionals can detect cardiac activity or electrical activity, usually around 6 weeks before some women know they're pregnant. Boo. The law does not make exceptions for rape or incest, non-viable pregnancies, or a fetus with a fatal or untreatable condition. Thank you, boo. The bill makes abortion a civil violation, not criminal, and outsources enforcement to citizens. All right? Two groups of people are not eligible to sue: government entities and their employees, and I'm being serious here, rapists. I guess they didn't want the rapist to cash in on his victim's abortion. And that's in the bill. Patients cannot be sued, but those who help a patient can be sued. So this bill invites lawsuits against anyone who performs or abets an abortion: a doctor, a nurse, the receptionist, friends, relatives, strangers who pay for an abortion, insurers who approve a claim, rideshare drivers, so the Uber guys can get sued, anyone who shares information about abortion options. Like Planned Parenthood, right. Residents of other states can sue someone who helps a Texan get an abortion. So it's anybody can sue anybody. Residents of other states can be sued for helping a Texan get an abortion. So imagine this. It is within the realm of possibility that someone in Wisconsin can sue someone from California for abetting someone from Texas getting an abortion. So wrap your head around that. For winning a civil suit, a plaintiff will get at least $10,000 for each abortion. So they call it, it's a headhunter. They will be reimbursed for their legal expenses, and those expenses must be paid by the defendant. If the defendant wins the lawsuit, they do not get their legal expenses reimbursed. So there's little incentive or any little risk for people not to sue because they won't be held liable and financially accountable. So those are just a few of the highlights. There's more, but I didn't put them all in. So when we talk about strict and brutal state control, there you have it. So it's difficult to get numbers, but last year in 2020, about 54,000 women in Texas got abortions. 83% of those were 6 weeks or less. So some would be protected by this law and others wouldn't. So that's it. So there you go. So why don't we? That's pretty sobering. So that's what we're fighting. And let's get going. So we got some great speakers who are going to talk today. And I think our first one is, first of all, Shout out over there for the League of Women Voters. So if you're interested in joining the League of Women Voters of Glenview, Glencoe, head on over. They'd love to talk to you. They are also registering new voters today. And if you're not sure about your voting status, they will check whether you're registered and so on. So, and if not, just drop by and say hey, because they are great people.
Yes, they are.
They are, yes they are. How many of you guys are members of the League out there? Yeah, we got a lot of League members. So I want to introduce Sue Gregory, who is Vice President of our Glenview Glencoe League. Come on down, Sue. Sorry about that.
Hey ho, good morning everybody. So I'm going to read a statement that was made jointly by Dr. Deborah Turner, who's the president of the League of Women Voters of the United States, and Grace Shemeen, who is the president of the League of Women Voters of Texas. And the statement was released following the Supreme Court decision not to rule on the Texas law. Before I read this statement, I just want to say that 100 years ago, my paternal grandmother took a train from Chicago to St. Louis and had a back alley abortion. That's 100 years ago, and we're still talking about the same kind of risky, unlawful, unconstitutional control over women's decisions, leading them to do things that are terribly unhealthy and risk their lives. So here we are, 100 years later, and the Supreme Court refuses to recognize the unconstitutionality of this Texas law. So Deborah Turner and Grace Shemeen said, by refusing to rule on Texas's near ban on abortions, the Supreme Court allows a horrific anti-woman law to take effect in this state. Not only does this law essentially ban abortion services, but it opens up service providers to unjust lawsuits by private citizens simply for doing their job. The League of Women Voters of Texas advocated strongly against the law and other attempts by the Texas legislature to roll back reproductive rights. Reproductive choice is not only a dire issue concerning the rights of women and all people who become pregnant, but one of racial and economic justice. Limits on reproductive health services disproportionately impact Black, brown, and low-income communities, therefore upholding and perpetuating income inequality and white supremacy. Bodily autonomy is a personal right. The League of Women Voters believes every person deserves the access and the privacy to make their own reproductive choices. And we will continue the fight for reproductive justice in Texas and across the nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you to the League of Women Voters for everything they do across the country to protect us and our rights. So we're very grateful. So next I'd like to introduce Melissa Prober. She's the Executive Director of the National Council of Jewish Women, Chicago, North Shore.
Hello. I am so excited to be here. I am so excited to see all of you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for raising your voice. Your voice has never been more important than it is right at this moment, and our voices together can, will, and must make a difference. My name is Melissa Prober with National Council of Jewish Women, Chicago North Shore. And as a mother of two, I want everyone, including my children, to be able to make their own decisions about whether and when to have a family. Because abortion is health care, and health care is a human right. I'm proud to represent Ncjw. We are the oldest progressive Jewish women's organization in the United States. Founded in Chicago in 1893, when a group of women were asked to participate and instead found out that they were there to serve coffee to the men. That's right, they walked out and started Ncjw and changed the face of advocacy forever. For more than 125 years, National Council of Jewish Women has boldly imagined a world where women, children, families, and all people are fully valued and supported. And from the beginning, we have been on the front lines of the fight for reproductive health, rights, and justice. Our goal is a world where all people have access to the reproductive health care that they choose without fear or shame, regardless of their race, income, hometown, or immigration status. Because reproductive health care, including abortion, is health care, and access to safe and affordable abortion is a human right. We know that 2021 is a pivotal year for protecting access to abortion. Roe is under attack in the courts and in state legislatures. If the Supreme Court overturned Roe tomorrow, at least 20 states are poised to immediately seek to ban abortion. And without Roe, at some point, a future anti-abortion Congress or president could pass a nationwide federal ban on abortion. Boo is right, but the majority of Americans believe that abortion should be legal, and 73% support Roe v. Wade. There are over a dozen cases on abortion access right now in the circuit courts, and that's just one step away from the Supreme. This gives conservatives ample opportunity to chip away at abortion access, leaving the right to abortion a right in name only. But a right in name only is not a right. We think of Illinois as a safe haven, but the Hyde Amendment was born in Illinois, and one bad election cycle could turn the clock back here as it did in Texas. And the right to have an abortion is quite different from the ability to access it. So we need to work at both the state and federal levels to protect abortion access. So we're going to get to work. And I've got work for all of you to do on Monday because it's the weekend. You can't do it today. There are two bills currently making their way through the U.S. Congress, and they would remove unnecessary abortion restrictions to health care for everyone and protect the right to access abortion care throughout the U.S. So the first bill is the Equal Access to Abortion Coverage and Health Insurance Act, but all you need to remember is the EACH Act, and that would permanently end the Hyde Amendment and related coverage bans and prohibit federal political interference in private insurance coverage of abortion. The Women's Health Protection Act would protect the right to abortion access by creating a safeguard against bans and medically unnecessary restrictions. So if these bills are signed into law, particularly if they include language ending the criminalization of self-managed abortions, Roe protections would remain in place, and every person would be able to access comprehensive and affordable, compassionate and equitable abortion care in whatever setting they choose and whatever time they choose. So, first thing Monday morning, I need you to grab your phones. You can grab your coffee first, but then grab your phones and take action. Call your senators and your representative and tell them that Congress must pass the Women's Health Protection Act and the EACH Act. And then after you call them, tell your friends to call them too. When we raise our voices together, change can happen. And in Illinois, Ncjw is actively working to repeal the Harmful Forced Parental Notice of Abortion, or PNA. This is an unnecessary law that puts young people in danger and interferes with their access to time-sensitive health care. Please reach out to the governor and leaders of our General Assembly and let them know that the time is now to repeal the PNA. So call Speaker Chris Welch, Senate President Don Harmon, and Governor J.B. Pritzker. I was going to give you all their phone numbers right now, but I don't think anyone has a pencil. So you can visit the Ncjw Chicago North Shore website later, and we've got contact information for everybody. Thank you. Every single person needs to be able to make their own moral and faith-informed decisions about their body, health, and future without interference from the government. Now, before I go, I have to mention that later this month, the National Council of Jewish Women is launching a new campaign related to abortion access called 73 Forward. 73 for Roe and forward, because we are not going back. Yes. The goal of 73 Forward is to remove educational, financial, and legislative roadblocks for people experiencing pregnancy. The official launch of 73 Forward is on October 27th, and you can visit 73forward.org and register to be notified about direct actions that you can take. Abortion isn't a right if you can't afford it or access it where you live. Together, we can work to ensure that every single person can make their own decisions about their body, health, and future. Thank you for listening, and thank you for lifting your voice and making change happen.
Oh my God, fabulous. Thank you, Melissa. All right, the next one. Now, what are you doing Monday morning? All right, that's good after your coffee. So the next person I'd like to introduce is Tracy Katz Mule. She is the committee person for the Democrats of Northfield Township.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, everybody, for coming out here. Can I ask all of our elected officials who are here today to come up in the Brick Pavilion? If you're a current and past elected official, whether you're a municipal board member, a library board member, a park board member, a school board member, all our strong women and also the awesome guys who are out here today, can I ask you all to come up and stand in the Brick Pavilion with me? Get everybody up here. I don't know how long this cord is, but I want everybody quick to go down the line and tell us who you were and what you ran for, what you are or were.
I'm Elaine Neckwitz. I was a state representative from this area for many, many years, and it's great to see you. Thank you, Tracy.
Daniel Shack, trustee of Northfield Township, and if you got a text from the Democrats of Northfield Township, yeah, sorry about that.
Hi, Alita Nally, assessor-elect for Northfield Township.
Good morning. I'm Shiva Mohsenzadeh, Northfield Township Supervisor.
Hi, Ncjw. I am a Village of Northbrook trustee.
Hi, I'm Elliot Hartstein, past president of the Village of Buffalo Grove.
I'm Dean Marigus, the Ncjw Democratic Committeeman. Honored to be here. Daniel Fitzsimmons, Park District Commissioner in Wheaton for 9 years.
Maureen Yates, former park board member in Skokie, and I was the squeaky wheel, and they were glad to get me off.
Hello, I'm Karen McCormick. I'm a former trustee of Northfield Township and also a former clerk of Northfield Township.
I'm Diane Dank, and as long as you're taking people who are from other communities, I was a state rep in the great state of Maine, and I was on the DNC. And I'm happy to be back.
Alice Reed, I'm an Ozaukee County Supervisor in Ozaukee County, Wisconsin, visiting my grandchildren here, and I couldn't miss this day and this important march.
Jen Roberts, Glenview Park District Commissioner.
Chelsea Baylor, Woods Hole, Falmouth, Massachusetts, former school board member. I've been doing clinic defense for 20 years.
Did we get everybody? Right, thank you to our elected officials. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything you've done. I want to give a shout out to our 3 big, powerful women elected officials who are out of town this weekend, but who are very much here with you in spirit. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. State Senator Laura Fine. And State Representative Jennifer Gong Dershowitz. On On average, it takes 7 times asking a woman to run for office before she'll run. 7 times. For a man, 1 to 0. And so that's why I'm here today, to ask you once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, run for office. We need you. As an organization, Democrats of Northfield Township has been asking for many cycles, and we've seen the change that it's brought to our community. Look at the tremendous women and the strong male allies that we've elected to our village boards, our park boards, our library boards, our school boards. Some of you know I'm also a K-8 school board president. My current school board features 6 women and 1 man, 2 women of color. That was work. We worked hard. We got out in the community and we came to you and we asked you and we talked to you. And I need all of your voices to help us amplify that message, to get out there and talk to people about how important it is not to sit back, but to stand up and run for office. I also need you to do 2 other important things. I need you to vote and I need you to volunteer. Vote at this point should be a no-brainer. And I gotta tell you, Northfield Township, we are kicking butt in this department. We have record-breaking turnout for primary elections, general elections, and municipal elections. We had a historic turnout in this year's municipal election that allowed us to sweep 7 township races. We have a diverse trio of women leading Northfield Township. They have done amazing work to bring the future here and to make sure women's voices are represented and heard at all levels of government. This representation helps with everything, but it helps with choice in particular. At all levels of government, we have welcoming offices, welcoming social workers and support workers who will welcome women and present them with all of their options, all of their choices, and help put them in touch with people who can let them make their choices about their health. And that's what's most important, that women are making their own choices about their health. Thank you for showing up to make sure that that is the case. I need you to volunteer. I need you to get out and hit the streets with my friends and I at Democrats of Northfield Township. I see so many familiar faces here today, but if somehow you've escaped our email list, if somehow you were not on Daniel's text list, I need you to be there. Go to our website at northfielddems.org and sign up for our email list. Provide us your contact information. We'll get you in the loop. We send, was it 7,000 texts? 7,000 text messages this week in order to encourage people to come out and be here. Even people who aren't here know about your message. They know why you're out here today standing together for women's reproductive rights. What do you do next to help? We are on a different schedule this year than we ever have been before. Normally, I would be arms full of clipboards today asking you to sign to get strong women and male allies on the ballot. But because of COVID, we're operating on an alternate schedule this year. We're not going to be working on petitions until the dead of winter. And I've got to tell you, for people running for office, that's daunting to get hundreds or even thousands of signatures in the dead of winter. And so I need you as volunteers to sign up on our website to help with that process. If we do this as individuals and get 10 or 20 or 50 signatures each, we can help make sure that these strong women and male allies are on our ballot protecting our rights, including our reproductive rights. So please sign up to be involved in that process. Join our volunteer team to be part of getting out the vote. The primary election is going to be in June, and then we're going to do a quick turn to get ready for the November general. It's important that we're ready to turn out and show up. Who here has gone to early voting and seen a Democrats of Northfield Township volunteer at the ballot station? 250 shifts of volunteers are required every time we turn out the vote. But what those volunteers do is ensure that we vote all the way down the ballot, that we are comfortable and competent to vote for people, including judges, who have a key and critical role in protecting our reproductive rights. So sign up to be part of those teams to help make a difference. Showing up here today is an amazing first step. I am excited. I feel empowered. I know that these women are going to get things done. Take the next step and sign up to be a volunteer to vote or to run for office. You can always reach me. The thing that I do that I am the proudest of is help people find the confidence and the skills to run for office. If you've ever thought about this for even a moment, reach out, because you can do this thing that is out there, that is an idea right now. You can make this a reality, and we will introduce you to people who have gone this path before, who will be your mentors in this process, and you too can make a difference. You can cast a vote that makes a difference. So thank you, everybody, for being out here today. I'm counting on you to vote, to volunteer, and to run. Thank you, Northfield Township.
Well, I think you have